What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw review. I wish I could say a lot of good happened on this tonight, but a lot of this show was shit. But the best thing that we got out tonight was the return on Monday Night Raw in over 12 years. Probably one of the top WCW guys back then. That was a big name. Was the return of Goldberg, Goldberg, Goldberg. Bill Goldberg was back. Coming back from Monday Night Raw. Before we get to the great parts of it, that really was the end, which is they saved him for 3 hours. They could have had him kick off the show instead of get the in and out because the crowd would probably sleep by then. But here's how bad Raw went. First off, we kicked it off with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Talking about what happened last week is people chanting Y2J, and Jericho told people to be quiet. Because, Hell in a Cell is coming up because everyone around here, as Jericho says, acting like it's a reward, but it's actually a nail in the coffin. It's a dangerous match. Everybody wants to be in it now. So, just like they make the Hell in a Cell reward right now, pretty much, as you want to put it like that. And anybody can get in it. But Owens talked about he didn't want to be in Hell in a Cell, and Jericho said he should be in the match too. I have beaten everybody. He has beaten Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and The Rock on the same night for the Undisputed title. He beat The Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship back in 2010 at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. He's beaten all of them, and he knows he can beat Rollins. So, people kind of sort of cheered for that. As Jericho said, we're adding the referee to the list. The list. As Owens pretty much said, we're going to replace Rollins in 2 weeks anyways when we retire him. As Rollins came out, someone gave a loud Rollins chant, and he told Jericho, you put on your scarf, your tattoos, and your sparkle crotch trunks. I don't know why this whole sparkle crotch was trending. It wasn't really that funny, to be honest, and I guess people ate it up on Twitter for some reason and started doing it, but it's like, who's writing this shit to say sparkle crotch? Which just sounded dumb, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people think that also, so whoever came up with sparkle crotch makes no sense. And Rollins said, you gotta put your friendship with Owens on the list, and talk about how Owens, he left you there, he was pedigreed a few weeks ago and last week. As Rollins pretty much told Owens, like, why don't you just, you always stay strong while Jericho looks weak. And Jericho said he could beat Rollins. We'll have a rematch right now, but Owens will stay in the back and will not come out. So we won't have any tricks. Because, Jericho said he's going to remind him of who he is, because I'm Chris Jericho, damn it. So, it was a good part of the first show, good promo between all three guys. As we got to Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho, put on another good match. Even though Owens came out there and just watched, he never actually pulled the ropes or anything. Jericho pretty much went for a code breaker, but Rollins dodged with a pedigree and won. So, I don't know why they haven't added Jericho to the Hell in a Cell match for some reason. I don't know why. He ought to be part of this for a triple threat. He ought to be in this match. But we played multiple clips of Goldberg on his debut against, I believe it was Hugh Morris on Nitro. You're going to see a lot of Goldberg clips tonight. They interviewed Charlotte, Lita about the Hell in a Cell match, and, Lita talked about people like Undertaker and Foley and Austin, Triple H being in this Hell in a Cell, and Charlotte pretty much, yes, she's going to take out her, because she beat her when she was 100%, and she's going to do it again in her hometown. Now, a lot of people have criticism of this Hell in a Cell match. And what I found out recently, that it's supposed to be now the main event for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which there's too many matches. And, I've been, kind of listening to a lot of things on YouTube. And even I thought of it myself. Go to JD, he'll tell you something. But, I don't know. Do we really need this women's Hell in a Cell match? Because it looks like they're just doing it just to push the gimmick. Because it's like people said, they got over just wrestling on NXT. The Sasha Charlotte feud has gone on for so long, they're just adding any type of gimmick to it right now. Pretty much for Hell in a Cell. And what I've heard, the reason why they're making this the main event and everything is because it's the last day of this breast cancer women's awareness month. So they're just trying to do cheap, shameless plugs to put it in the main event. I really don't know what's gonna happen in this. I understand why the criticism of both women being this Hell in a Cell match. It looks cool, but it looks like it feels forced. It looks like they just gotta do it just because. It's not like Hell in a Cell is even really rare anymore. This pay-per-view has watered it down so much it makes no sense. I've said it before. It's not a lot of great Hell in a Cell matches recently nowadays. Let's put Undertaker and Brock Lesnar last year at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. We already had a Hell in a Cell earlier this year with Undertaker and Shane McMahon, which was okay. But let's be honest with all three of these Hell in a Cell matches. Are we really going to see any type of crazy blood type of stuff in there? Because even I'm looking at this, like, are we really going to send Charlotte or Sasha Banks to jump off the top of the cage? Hell, Sasha Banks barely made out of that match the last time at SummerSlam. And was hurt. And had to leave for 30 days. So I get the criticism, and they're just really pushing this as best as they can, and just want to make the main event. But like I don't know. This whole feud, this whole women's division is mostly centered around those two, or barely. It just makes no really type of sense. And I understand it now why people hate on this. So yeah, I get every little bit of it. You go watch other YouTubers, they'll probably say, watch the JD one. That guy knows the truth. But as we moved on, 6-man tag, Golden Truth and Mark Henry versus the Shining Stars and Titus O'Neil. Why did this match? Because they were trying to sell R-Truth some fake gold Rolexes, and Henry won with a World's Strongest Slam. I don't get this Titus O'Neil brand at this point. New Day for 20 of the WWE Tag Team Champions. 420 there, folks, because Denver, Colorado, they says pretty much the state is legalized for marijuana, so they get the weed over there. Jericho was pretty much pissed at Owens him coming out and almost called him a stupid idiot until Owens about to be offended, and Jericho says, I'm a 6-time world champion. I'm not your lackey. So Stephanie came up and talked about the whole Survivor Series challenge with the men, the women, and the tag teams. And I need 2 generals on the same page for Survivor Series. So, yeah. Sheamus and Cesaro came out. Cesaro was doing the Facebook Live thing on his phone, kind of like what Sheamus did last week, and Sheamus was pissed about it. New Day talked about their title reign and how they're going to be facing them in Hell in a Cell, I guess, because they beat Cesaro last week, Kofi. Even if he slipped on it, everybody knows he still won. And that Sheamus is still hot garbage. Sheamus went against Big E. Pretty much Cesaro went in the crowd and did the whole Facebook Live. They says, oh, best bro kick ever, huh? Big E wanted to roll up, that's it. And you know what's odd about why they did? You know, the thing is, they're having a tag team match in the Hell in a Cell. Why would you have a tag team match next week before the pay-per-view if both teams are going to face each other at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view for the tag team championships? That makes no sense. When I saw that later in the night, I said, oh, we did the matches at Hell in a Cell. Why are we doing the match next week? Just why? They show more GoldBerg clips of him going against Hogan for the WCW title on Nitro, which some say they should have saved for pay-per-view because they hot-shotted it and it should have been on pay-per-view instead of free television. Neville went against Bo Dallas. Holy crap. Once again proves the man that created forgot Neville right here. Jobbing to Bo Dallas. And you know, it's funny. Both of these two were once the main event on an NXT show. And Neville was one of the longest reigning NXT champions. And these two guys main event had a great ladder match. If you want to go back, I don't know if it was Arrival or whichever NXT pay-per-view live special it was. These two were one of the top ones over there. But I'm somewhat surprised that, you know, Bo Dallas like really beat Neville. Okay, with a Crossroads. And then he beat up Curtis Axel after it and held up his little Believe in Bo campaign sign. And I don't know, Bo Dallas is supposed to be, you know, serious now. He's supposed to be a sick man and whatever and take people out. But him speaking in rhymes like the Riddler doesn't really help that much. It's almost like a cheap cartoon Batman villain. So he'd be like the Riddler and campaign signing. One of the worst matches I'll say was Dana Brooke versus Bayley, a very botched finish where Bayley looked like she could have got injured after her face got slammed to the post and Brooke dragged her in the ring, and it looked like Dana Brooke tried to put her foot on the rope, but she missed it. It was pretty much a clean win, which was supposed to be a dirty win, but wow, Dana Brooke just botches every week. Why did we take her off NXT again? And why did we separate her away from Emma? Because my God, when I saw that, that was not a clean. That's supposed to be a clean win. That was a clean win. After she couldn't even barely reach the ropes, and the announce team pretty much said, "Oh yeah, she beat her fair and square. Yeah, it was a clean win. Yeah, she beat her. She won clean." So they messed that up. Paul Heyman, we're talking about. He was on via live satellite, talking about GoldBerg and everything. And that Brock Lesnar wants his win back from over 12 years ago. And GoldBerg is a stupid name. And that Brock Lesnar is going to embarrass Humble and give him an ass kicking of a lifetime. Braun Strowman went against the Mile High Trio. I don't know. One of these guys look like No Way Jose. I remember, I don't know why Cole said something about Con Cabinet. He was being an asshole, Cole. But Strowman beat them all up, and then he wanted real competition. But here's the odd part about this, and this is what I think set people the fuck off. When Sami Zayn, is this the best we got for Sami Zayn, is to send him against Braun Strowman? I'd rather have him and Neville as a tag team. What's he gonna do? Job to Strowman and lose to him? It's like you can't have Zayn beat him right now because the guy's been squashing everybody. You don't want to destroy your monster. So I feel like they're going to squash him. Sami Zayn. And he got in his face, and Strowman pushed him to the ground, act like he was not a real challenger. But I don't know if Sami Zayn can make this work, but Sami Zayn is directions right now. He's had nothing to do ever since the Battleground match with Kevin Owens. Really, after that, it's just like he was on the pre-show for SummerSlam. He lost to Jericho at the last pay-per-view. And now it's just, was he really going to job to Braun Strowman? Because I honestly feel like that's going to happen. Just why? Do they have anybody for Sami Zayn, really? Storytime Rusev happened with Lana, as people gave them what chance, as Rusev talked about his families, and Rollins has pretty much 700 Samoans around him dipping a turkey leg in mayo. But Rusev talked about his family, his mama. Rusev said, "Don't you dare bully my mother." His dad, his brother with the dog, the grandmother, and I don't know what story time Rusev was going, but it was just bad. Roman Reigns came out and he says, "Who you gonna call, Rusev?" And everybody says, "Ghostbusters." It was so lame. Why did they give him mic talk? Like, you're not calling Ghostbusters. So you can call anybody what you like, but you're gonna have to call 911. And pretty much Lana slapped him. And Cole, as an idiot, said Rusev did a super kick, even though it was a roundhouse kick. Cole. He pretty much beat up Roman Reigns, threw him into the steps, which he finally got some type of offense over him. Because most of the times, Reigns has been kicking the shit out of Rusev all over the place. It's like, why are we still doing this feud? Why are we still continuing this? He got the big win at the Night of Champions thing, so why are we still doing this stuff? Why are we putting them in a Hell in a Cell match? I said the women, it's like, is the feud that deep? Is it that blood-driven to put them in the Hell in a Cell? Or are you just trying to push it just because? I don't even understand why Rusev and Reigns feud is still going. And as for the women, it's just like, they're just, like I said before, they're just pushing the Hell in a Cell. Hopefully it looks cool, but I don't know what to expect out of that match, especially now since it's the main event, I believe. Big Cass squashed Carl Anderson, which, just why? Wow, they squashed those guys. I don't know about the club at this point. They've buried these guys so many times with Gallows and Anderson. Ever since they broke them away from AJ Styles, even since they came here, they never really looked dominant. And now since they tried to make them look dominant, they're the most dominant tag team. What, after they were beaten the shit out of by Roman Reigns and lost the New Day back-to-back? When they started getting serious and doing old man and testicle jokes? They've gone nowhere. They've gone nowhere. Listen, I love the Bullet Club. They were big in New Japan and Ring of Honor. But holy shit, they don't know how to use these guys on here. They talked to Sasha Banks. Sasha said she'll be 100% with Hell in a Cell, and she will show no fear. They showed more GoldBerg clips. Him debuting on Raw. Him beating Triple H for the world title in 03, which he didn't really hold that long. Brian Kendrick was talking to T.J. Perkins. Well, he had Tony Nese and and Drew Gulak in the back talking about what they're gonna do to him and stuff. And you know, it says I only got one life. You may have this isn't a video game. This isn't a unlimited life. Perkins or Game Over. Which once again they keep putting the cruiserweights near the end of the show where everybody's damn near asleep or don't give a fuck at this point. And the cruiserweight match was okay, but it was a little bit slow. 6-man tag: Kendrick, Gulak, and Anthony Nese versus Perkins, Cedric Alexander, and Rich Swann. Kendrick got the bully choke on Rich Swann, and he tapped out. So, I don't know, they just put the cruiserweight somewhere. Once again, that makes no sense. Then Stephanie McMahon fully talked about Survivor Series Challenge and did some type of high five in the air, which didn't make any sense. Oh yeah, we're doing a high five. We're going to accept the Survivor Series Challenge and stuff. And, you know, what's odd, okay, let me get this straight. Okay, so Stephanie McMahon told Jericho and Owens to get on the same page for Survivor Series. But we're going to put all three of them in a triple threat match next week, which I don't know why they just don't put all three in a Hell in a Cell match, really, between Jericho, Rollins, and Owens. But, oh, we're going to put them all in there. But now we get to probably the only best thing of the night, because everything else was probably mostly trash, was the return of GoldBerg. Cole introduced GoldBerg. He came out, coming back from the backstage area like he used to. Fans chanting, GoldBerg, GoldBerg. The pyro went out. GoldBerg was finished his black jacket and everything. And when the music stopped, he just took it all in. And you could tell it was genuine. The man almost like he was about to cry out there. And he just felt really good to be back. People chanted GoldBerg. There were loud holy shit chants. There were loud this is awesome chants. GoldBerg thanked them and everything. It's been 12 years, gentlemen. He says never say never, eh? Which you know, it's funny how some of his comments go. Some people were like, why would GoldBerg come back on this shit show tonight? That's just for the money, maybe. And you know, he felt humble and everything. So next to the Colorado governor and stuff. And he misses aside. There's not a lot of heroes left around here for the kids to look up to and stuff. And I've been doing the tour for the video game, and he shakes hands with kids and all this stuff. And it's almost like he's a superhero again. There's fans chanting GoldBerg, and Brock Lesnar challenged me to his fight with his little fat stooge, Paul Heyman, with him. And GoldBerg wanted to know if he had one more left in him. Does he have one more jackhammer? Does he have one more spear? Because it only means that you're... And he pretty much said it before, like, he's got one more in him. He's going to do this. Because the only reason why GoldBerg is really wanting to wrestle, he wants his son to see him wrestle. He wants him to see him live and do a match because he's never seen him wrestle before his eyes. So he wants his kid to see that. And he says, not only means that you're next, but Brock Lesnar, you're last. And he pretty much dropped the mic as the fans chanting GoldBerg. And he picked up his son over the guardrail. And even picked up a fan for a minute and held him up in the air. As GoldBerg pretty much, he hugged his family, his wife, and everything. And he just, he soaked it all in. And, he just raised his arms, and that closed the show. Which was pretty much the greatest thing out of tonight. A very great return for GoldBerg. It's great to see him. It's real odd. Like, it's kind of funny how the entire show is shit, but we have to rely on somebody from WCW to actually wake the crowd up and make them feel alive again, because most of Monday Night Raw was ass, pretty much. Like usual, I'm not really surprised. I guess GoldBerg would have drawn some ratings. We'll see how that goes. Because we've read on Twitter all night, people are mostly paying attention on Twitter saying, like, we'll turn when GoldBerg comes on. They're just going to go watch Monday Night Football, but we'll turn back when GoldBerg comes on TV, then we'll pay attention. Because I don't think anybody's cared throughout the entire night of either things that make no sense, bad matches, or whatever they were trying to do tonight. But that's what we got. But it was fun to see GoldBerg again back on TV. Now will GoldBerg versus Brock Lesnar be a great match? I don't know. Supposed to be Survivor Series. Really? Brock Lesnar will be back next week in his hometown of Minneapolis, where people probably won't boo him. But if they are having a match at Survivor Series, Brock Lesnar already lives in Canada or whatever. Still didn't do that about those drug tests, but whatever. Brock, we'll see how that goes if they have the match at Survivor Series. And it's either going to be A or B. Either A, they will really have a good to great match, and I think Goldberg still has it. Or B, it will be a shit fest like it was at WrestleMania 20 where nobody gave a fuck. Because that's either one of the two ways that's going to work with Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. I don't know how many matches Goldberg will wrestle, but with the right deal I guess he got, we'll see how this goes between Goldberg and Lesnar. But it was really fun to see Goldberg getting back on TV, and he was super over, and everybody knew he was, chanted for his name, and it was a very, very awesome moment for Goldberg to return on Monday Night Raw. I wish I could say for the rest of the show, but most of it was shit, especially I still don't understand the sparkle crotch. Raw makes you damn near want to go to sleep nowadays after watching some parts. Because you become tired or droned or like you be wondering what the hell's going on. Or in my opinion, I'll probably go back to PS4 and play something else. Maybe go play Destiny or some Grand Theft Auto or something. But that's my review of Raw. I am out of here. I will see you guys later, and we will have a SmackDown review too also. Peace.